The shimmering portal dissipates behind me, leaving a lingering scent of ozone and the taste of something ancient and bitter on my tongue. My vision clears, but the world before me is a panorama of blighted agony, dust devils swirling like trapped spirits. Atmospheric pressure and particulate density are clearly off the charts out here. The ground itself isn't still. It shudders, a low, guttural thrum echoing through my boots. Every breath I take feels like scraping against sandstone. This isn't just barren, it's actively unmaking itself. My mission, for those just joining the feed, is to push back the encroaching blight from this last, dying oasis. A simple task for a cursed chef, right? Especially when the local wildlife looks like something plucked from a nightmare's toothache. And speaking of nightmares, for all you dedicated viewers tuning in, stick around until the very end. I have a feeling we're going to uncover something truly unique in this forsaken place. Something that might just make it onto our special collection trading cards. You won't want to miss that reveal. This isn't just about cooking. It's about survival, about understanding why this world is tearing itself apart from the inside out. The air here isn't just dry, it's hungry. My skin feels tight, almost brittle. What kind of ecosystem thrives on such desperation? The ground beneath my worn boots pulses, not a steady rhythm, but an erratic thrumming, like a buried heart struggling to beat. My gaze sweeps the dying oasis, past the shriveled, brittle plants and cracked earth, until it snags on something directly opposite me. There, nestled amongst what little remains of the oasis's edges, is a patch of deep, almost violet flora. It isn't just dark, it absorbs the faint starlight, pulling the eye in. Then, I see it move, a slow, steady pulsation, like an alien lung breathing. Each throb of the strange plant correlates precisely with a jolt from the ground beneath me. A low hum vibrates in the air, a sound I feel more than hear, tingling against my teeth. This isn't just the oasis dying. This is something actively feeding on its decay, radiating a strange, unstable energy. My initial unease sharpens into a focused dread. This plant, it feels wrong, powerful, but wrong in this world often means potent. My objective just narrowed significantly. I need to get closer. I pick my way through sun-baked scrub, the ground crunching underfoot like ancient bones. Ahead, a cluster of lean-to shelters made from scavenged metal and tattered cloth huddles against a low rock formation. Smoke, thin and acrid, curls from a small, contained fire. Nomadic scavengers, their faces weathered and suspicious, watch me approach. Their eyes, sharp as obsidian shards, follow every move I make. This is my chance for local intel, a risk I have to take. Greetings, I call out, trying to sound confident despite the prickle of apprehension on my skin. One of them, a gaunt woman with intricate scarifications tracing her jawline, spits dust near my boots. Her companions clutch crude bladed tools made from bone and salvaged metal. They don't speak, just glare, their hostility a palpable force in the still air. I'm searching for unusual roots near the oasis's heart, I explain, holding up a small, dried tendril of what I think might be a demaroot. Something with a peculiar flavor, perhaps a dark scent? The woman's eyes narrow further. She exchanges a terse look with a burly man beside her. He grunts, a sound like grinding stone. You speak of the wailing roots, she says, her voice raspy, like sand on rock. They feed on despair, child, close to the dark pulse. I lean in. Dark pulse? My objective shifts instantly. This isn't just about a plant. It's something far deeper. What is this dark pulse? The lifeblood of the wailing roots, she continues, gesturing vaguely towards the oasis's center. It thrums deep underground, a rhythm of sorrow. Pluck one of those roots, and you'll know true. Well, some call it dread broth. My eyes widen. Dread broth, I repeat, the word tasting bitter on my tongue, even with my taste blindness. Keep this word, I tell myself, pressing it into my memory. You'll need this later for understanding what lies beneath. A shiver runs down my spine. The way she says it, the weight of the word. I nod, committing it to memory. It binds you to the pulse, the burly man adds, his voice surprisingly soft. Steals your own flavor, leaves only echoes. He gestures to his empty, patched satchel, a silent testament to past losses. Don't go near them. Not if you value your own spirit. My stomach clenches, not from hunger, but from a new kind of dread. The air feels heavy now, charged with their warnings. The mystery deepens, twisting beyond mere culinary curiosity. The oasis isn't just dying, it's hiding something profoundly dangerous, something that influences the very essence of beings. My world understanding shifts. This isn't just a spice, it's a curse within a curse. The low, continuous moan of the wailing roots still hums in the air, a constant reminder of their strange power. I shift, my cloak rustling against dry, coarse sand, eyes fixed on the shimmering distortion that surrounds them. Another scavenger, more gaunt and desperate than the last, approaches. It's smaller, too, perhaps lower in the pack hierarchy. It hesitates, sniffing the invisible perimeter, its multifaceted eyes darting nervously. It knows, but hunger overrides caution. With a whimpering snarl, the creature lunges, aiming for a patch of exposed root. Just as its paw crosses the unseen line, a violent, invisible shockwave ripples outwards. It's not a physical wall, but an explosive displacement of energy. The air around the beast combusts, not with fire, but with sheer, invisible force. The scavenger is thrown back as if struck by an immense hammer, tumbling head over heels with a pained yelp that cuts through the wail of the roots. I watch its desperate scramble to regain footing, its fur singed where the unseen force made contact. It retreats, leaving a faint, acrid smell lingering in the air. This repulsion is a defense, I realize, a reactive shield, but something is off. The shiver, usually a steady undulation, flickered for a fraction of a second, like a dying ember. The beast's contact felt less absolute than my earlier observations, the resultant force slightly diminished. This isn't a static wall. It's a dynamic, degrading field, a defensive system reacting to life approaching too closely. It's almost like the roots themselves are screaming, a primal instinctual defense. My mind races, drawing parallels to the recipe Chef T gave me, the root of evil stew, designed to grant an intimidating, demonic appearance. It uses demaroot spice and a special liquid. This special liquid is the key. I need to be precise. Listen closely. This is important. You'll need this later. The power of the dish comes from the dread broth infusion. It's meant to project an aura, just like these roots project a protective, repulsive field. My initial dread transforms into focused concentration. The barrier is weakening, its protective pulses less potent. It's reacting, yes, but its energy output is dwindling with each impact. I see a pattern now, a pulse rhythm, a signature of its fading strength. This means I can't just wait. I need to understand this weakening barrier, and fast. The roots are losing their ability to deter. This shimmering barrier, once a solid wave of energy, now flickers like a dying ember. The low hum it generates sputters, and the distant hungry snarls grow bolder, closer. I press my face against the dry earth, ignoring the sharp, coarse grains digging into my skin. My small, folded copper spoon, polished from years of clandestine use, feels light yet purposeful in my hand. I dig, not with force, but with an almost surgical precision. At the outer edge where the deterrent barely holds, my breath hitches, a cold tremor running through me as I see it. Beneath a thin crust of soil, a dark, gnarled root reveals itself, twisting like petrified veins. It pulses with a faint, unwholesome energy, almost a whisper against my fingertips. And then, from its fissures, a peculiar, viscous substance oozes. It's thick, iridescent, catching the dim light with a sickly sheen. My fingers instinctively recoil, but my eyes remain glued. This is it, the legendary demaroot spice, and clinging to it, leaking from its very core, is the infusion. This is the dread broth infusion. Remember this name carefully. This is important. The air around me feels heavier, charged with something primal and dark. My skin tingles, not unpleasantly, but with a deep, resonating hum. I found it, exactly as Chef T described. A strange mix of relief and growing dread washes over me. The deterrent zone groans, its shimmering edge receding another foot. The scavengers outside let out a unified, guttural howl, sensing the weakness, their shadows stretching, growing longer. My objective is clear, and the clock is ticking. I press deeper into the soil, my fingers scraping against the dense root system. The air grows thick with an earthy, almost ferrous scent, a taste of dread already on my tongue. I need a bigger chunk, a more potent section for the recipe. This small tendril I managed to sever earlier feels woefully inadequate. As I tug, the exposed demaroot releases a sharp, acrid burst, like bruised nightshade and bird sugar, into the already humid air. It's intoxicatingly strong, unsettlingly familiar. A low growl rumbles from beyond the gnarled roots. Then another, closer this time. My blood goes cold. I freeze, listening. The ground vibrates, a frantic, rhythmic pounding. I recognize it instantly. Scavenger beasts, too many. The demaroot scent acts like a siren call to these creatures. I remember Chef T's warning about its attractant properties when disturbed, but not this potent, not this aggressive. A shadow falls over me as a lean, wiry beast, all sinew and snapping teeth, lunges from the undergrowth. Its eyes glow an eerie yellow. I roll, narrowly avoiding its bite, the dry earth kicking up into my face. More forms follow, a pack of them, sleek bodies darting through the fading light. Their snarls echo, a symphony of hunger. They're after the root, not me, but I'm in the way. My hand instinctively clutches the withered tendril I already secured, barely a finger length, but it's all I have now. I twist my body, scrambling back, slipping on loose stones. This is the essence of what creates the dread broth infusion. This raw, unsettling power. Keep this word. You'll need this later. One beast snaps at my heels, its hot breath scalding my ankle. I vault over a fallen log, my heart hammering against my ribs, leaving the larger root exposed and writhing with the frenzied scavengers. My chest aches with the exertion and the bitter taste of failure. I got away, but with so little. The scavenging beasts surge closer, their guttural growls, now a ragged chorus, pressing in on all sides. My breath hitches, the metallic whisk clutched tight in my sweating hand. This has to work. I scan the parched earth, my eyes darting. desperate for the right surface. A weathered, flat stone, stripped bare by wind and time, gleams faintly under the pale moon. Its dry, brittle surface might just be resonant enough. It's a gamble, but the oasis's dwindling light offers no other options. I drop to one knee, ignoring the sharp stones digging into my pants. The beast's glowing eyes fixate on me, their snouts twitching, scenting weakness. Time is a luxury I don't have. With a swift, desperate motion, I drag the metallic whisk's rigid tines across the dry stone surface. It's a harsh, grating shriek, a sound designed to mimic the territorial alarm of a predator far larger than myself. The air vibrates around me, a raw, piercing noise that scrapes at my very bones. For a moment, the world freezes. The scavenging beasts recoil, their collective growls stuttering into confused chitters. Their eyes narrow, darting nervously towards the sound's source, searching for the unseen threat. They are disoriented, their predatory focus momentarily shattered. A gasp escapes my lips, part fear, part relief. This brief reprieve is precious. My mind races. Chef T's insistent lessons echoing through the chaos. The Demerud spice is potent, but for true, paralyzing fear, for the demonic appearance, it's not enough on its own. It absolutely needs the dread broth infusion. Remember this carefully. You'll need this later. Dread broth. Without it, the effect is just an angry snarl, not a soul-shaking roar. My heart still hammers, but now there's a flicker of triumph, a weary mastery over this immediate, terrible moment. I have bought myself time, but the stew itself is the only true answer. My chef's knife, honed to a glittering edge, felt like an extension of my will. I leaned into the task, focusing past the shimmering heat and the growling scavengers. The Demerut throbbed a dull subterranean pulse under my fingertips. I saw the perfect seam, a natural fault line in its dark, fibrous flesh. With a controlled breath, I plunged the blade. It slid through with a wet, grating sigh, a sound that made the air itself seem to shudder. A thick, dark liquid, almost tar-like in its viscosity, immediately began to ooze from the severed root. It pulsed, a dark blood against the pale, exposed interior. Beneath the shallow curve of the overhang, I find a precarious perch. The air here feels thicker, stagnant, a slight reprieve from the wind, but not the distant howls. My hands tremble, not from cold, but a raw edge of fear. Still, I push it down. This is precision work, delicate, demanding everything. I lay out my tools, the sturdy mortar, the heavy pestle, the gnarled Demerut, dark and fibrous, resists my first attempts to break it. I apply more pressure, gritting my teeth, the stone against plant, creating a rough, scraping whisper that echoes in the close space. It's stubborn, almost alive in its defiance, but I continue. The root slowly yields, crumbling into a fine dark powder, releasing a scent like damp earth and something acrid, metallic. My muscles ache with the effort, each rotation of the pestle, a deliberate act against the world's indifference. Next, the small brass pot. I scratch flint against steel, a shower of sparks catching on a wad of dry moss. A tiny flame blossoms, then hungrily consumes the kindling. I nestle the pot onto the makeshift fire, the metal warming quickly. I lift the sealed vial, the thick, murky liquid inside sloshing ominously. This isn't just an ingredient, it's a key. Its true name holds the essence of what I'm creating, dread broth. Remember this carefully. This is important. I pour the viscous liquid into the warming pot, then add the Demerut powder. A faint hiss, almost imperceptible, rises. I stir with a small bone spoon. my eyes fixated on the swirling darkness. The mixture bubbles, slow and thick, with a subtle resistance, a heaviness that I feel in my arm. It tries to remain inert, yet the heat and my careful blending coax it, forcing the transformation. The aroma shifts, deepening, becoming cloying and strangely compelling. The liquid in the pot darkens further, shimmering with an unseen energy, a primal concoction taking form. The root of evil stew steams, blacker than any night I've known. My fingers tremble, not from fear, but from the immense power radiating from its surface. This is it, the final, desperate gamble. I raise the bowl, the thick, viscous liquid swirling like a miniature galaxy of dread. It smells, not of taste, but of raw, untamed possibility. Every cell in my body screams, a primal instinct warning me to stop. But the memory of Chef T's calm smile, her enigmatic words, push me forward. I close my eyes and drink. The first swallow is fire, then ice, then something far stranger. My vision distorts, the world around me stretching, blurring into elongated shadows. A growl rips from my throat, deep and resonant, utterly alien. I feel my body shift, bones popping and realigning, skin tightening, stretching. The ground shakes beneath me, not from my movement, but from the sheer, uncontrolled energy radiating outwards. My hands, clawed and shadowed, rise before me. I see my reflection in the dark, still water of the oasis, and a monstrosity stares back. Horns sprout from my head, eyes glowing like embers, my form massive and menacing. The remaining scavengers, previously fearless, let out whimpers of sheer terror. They turn, a chaotic, desperate scramble, vanishing into the shimmering heat haze. My roar follows them, a sound that rattles the very air. Slowly, agonizingly, the distortion begins to recede. The power drains, leaving me weak, trembling. I collapse to my knees, gasping, my reflection rippling back to my own familiar face. But it's not quite the same. A sharp, burning sensation erupts on my left temple. I touch it, feeling a raised, jagged line, like a claw mark etched into my skin. It's permanent. Chef T's recipes always left their mark. I stare at the scar in the water, a new brand, a reminder of the raw power I'd commanded, a piece of the dread broth left behind. The oasis is safe now, at least for a while. The sun sets, casting long purple shadows across the alien landscape. This arid world feels less hostile now that I know what lurks within me. It's a weary mastery, a lesson learned with both triumph and cost. My journey isn't over, not by a long shot. I push myself up, the scar pulsing faintly. A new horizon beckons, and a new hunger for understanding, for mastery. My adventure truly begins. That's a wrap for this world. If you want to keep exploring the multiverse with me and see what ingredients we hunt next, hit that subscribe button and join the crew. The next portal opens soon. Don't get left behind. See ya!